whatever, we'll just get going. But anyway, so I'm so glad that you guys are here. Please mute your lines. I'll probably pop through and do that randomly. But like I mentioned, my name is Crystal Kozakowski. I've been coaching for, I think, a little under 3 years now. I keep saying I'm going to check how long. I have no idea, but just basically been doing the things consistently and it's been working. So what I'll be talking about a lot tonight is how to hit SC at the end of the month. And if you've already hit SC, how to do it again. So how to double those numbers, how to help more people and kind of keep the fire and light going. And then Lindsay will be jumping in on that. So first things first, I'm just going to shout out some names. This is coming right off of the Google Doc. So if you didn't update it, that's why you're not on here. So of course, leading the pack is Carly Lindor at SC16 with 6 new coaches, Leanna Swords at SC13 with 3 new coaches, Heather Cormalt, SC10 with 5 new coaches, Lindsay Carge with SC10 plus 1 new coach. And then I'll probably stop it there. We have a few we have a few in SC2 plus. So I'll just kind of read some names here. So like Crystal Lyons, Claire Stagger, myself, Christina Stahlberg, and Caitlin Armstrong. So we're on the board. I know there's many more of you guys that have helped some people. So make sure you update that document. And then if you're not on that list yet, there's still time. And that's what this entire call is going to be focused on. We're going to, give you tangible ways on how to hit SC at the end of the month, how to kind of get that scrap going. And then 2, we'll start to talk about like reigniting your fire, or if you're new to coaching, what we do when we kind of get into like those lull seasons of our business and keep that fire stoked. Awesome. So I'm going to jump right into it and kind of talk a little bit about hitting SC at the end of the month and kind of what that looks like. So ultimately it's helping 3 people, getting 3 people to join you on this journey. And the fact that you're on this call already proves to me that whatever it was that you signed on for, whether you started with the nutrition, the fitness, whatever it was, you needed a community, it worked for you because you wouldn't be here wanting to share it if it didn't. So first off, kind of letting that sink in a little bit, that you have a big change that's already impacted you and that you in turn get to impact somebody else. I feel like sometimes we get stuck in this whole like, oh, I'm inviting, I'm being salesy. It's like you showed up on a Sunday night at 7 o'clock my time. I don't know what time you're in, but you showed up on a Sunday night because this stuff changed your life. And can you imagine if you didn't have it in your life, like where you'd be, what you would be doing? I'd probably be upstairs eating mac and cheese with a 1-year-old, just crying all the time because I have a 1-year-old and I'm a mom and I have nothing, like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm not doing that because I've put in the time for myself because that's what this business gave me. All right, I'm going to keep like popping through and muting people. I think we're good. We're good. All right, sweet. So I'm going to kind of go into this a little bit. I get like really excited and jumbled, but just know that I'm going to kind of separate this into like 4 main building blocks. You don't have to memorize these or anything like that, but I'm just going to kind of like keep kind of pushing them all back into like their own little like box to build on. So it's the end of the month. Where do you even start? Where do you even begin? So I want you guys to know that a lot of the work is going to be done behind the scenes. Like this isn't about going on your stories or going on social media or any of that. Like it's behind the scenes in your message threads, in your conversations with your people. But one of the first boxes or like things that I want to tell you to do is to post that transformation photo, especially if you haven't had one in the last like 48 hours, even post a transformation photo. Sundays and Mondays are really good days for social media. And by jumping in and posting this transformation photo, 1, you're showing proof that it works, but 2, you're putting something out there that can just kind of work while you're doing this behind the scenes stuff. So when you have your transformation photo, people are kind of seeing that, they're like getting engaged and like, oh, what is she doing? But you're all over here like working on your own business values and like going at that work while this is just kind of gathering info and like likes or whatever that might be. They're not going to be these big ticket posts that you're typically used to, but they're the posts that build your business. So that's why I want you guys right away to like post your transformation. And if you have done one already, just go on there and make sure you have your hashtags on there or make sure that you're commenting and like replying to people if they're saying anything or connecting with those likes. Okay, slow down for a second. I get so excited. Okay, so that's like that first piece. Like we're not even gonna spend a ton of time doing a post or doing our stories, but we're just getting it out there so that they're doing that work while we can go in the behind the scenes part. So in your invites, like a lot of you guys are gonna know this stuff, but I just wanna talk to you a little bit about the fact that your invites are this like big part of our business that moves us forward, but also at the end of the month, your invites are kind of just a consistent piece. Like I'm not going in and like revamping my business and figuring out like, oh, what invite, who am I sending? Like, where am I going to find my people? Like I'm sending my invites and I'm checking that off my list. And the reason that I'm saying that is that I just want you guys to stay consistent with those invites so that those keep moving forward, But where I really want you to spend your time is in your follow-ups, in the conversations that you've already been having. So I don't want you to stop doing your invites, but I also don't want you to think that I'm going to go invite 100 new people that I've never talked to before, because, okay, you'll get some traction there and that's going to help move your business later. Beautiful. But there's not a lot of unicorns that the first time they see you, they're just like, oh, I trust this girl. She randomly just popped into my message. So that's kind of why I want just kind of like that transformation I shared with you, like those things are still happening. You're just not spending a ton of your time on them and you're just keeping your business moving forward. And so kind of letting you guys know that, because we're going into like the follow-ups. The follow-ups is where it happens. That's where the magic happens. And I find that especially at the end of the month, if I'm looking to hit some bigger goals, I always get a little bit more of like my sass. And I must not share that with a ton of people because, well, I feel like I do, because sometimes it just like works in like the weirdest ways. I mean, there's like, I've had people sign up where literally I've talked to them for months and it's like the third day at the end of the month. And I'm just like, you ready to do this or what? Like, I'm just done. Like, okay, I'm just checking. I'm loving and leaving you. I'm checking out my list. And sure shit, they're just like, yep, sign me up. Okay, now I know how I'm going to like keep you accountable for the rest of your fitness journey. And that's it. But okay, so I just kind of wanted to share that with you about the invites and the follow-ups. So for your follow-ups, I don't want you to go kind of beating the same bush, like the same people over and over. Like there's the saying, love them and leave them, that just really lights my fire, because there was a time in my business where, I kid you not, I had to be talking to the same 40 people over and over. And like, I would look at the messages and be like, why am I still inviting and talking to these people? Like, we're not talking about anything. What do they even like? I don't know, animals. I'm into animals, whatever. Do they even like adventures? Like, you just get stuck in this whole like, oh, this person's still watching my stories, I better keep inviting them. Like, yeah, you can keep inviting them, but just like those invites at the end of the month, like just keep checking those off your list and like really dive in a little bit deeper to like your people and like the conversations that are filling you up. So for those follow-ups, letting those speak to like why you're there to help them, not to a point of, I'm doing this challenge group, you should join me. Cool. No, but kind of speaking to like, I see that your pain point, like I see that you're a mom of a 1-year-old and like, I've been in that struggle bus. How are you doing with it? How are you feeling in your body? How is your mindset? Do you even get like 3 minutes to yourself, or are you still looking for that 1 minute, kind of connecting to that person, like where they are. So that's kind of what I want to share with you a little bit about the follow-ups. And then as far as where to go like from there, because your DMs are going to be pretty full. We're just going to keep talking to our people, and feel free to keep this like pretty laser focused. Like you don't have to, I remember hearing, I think it was like Heather or somebody was kind of talking about how like she was doing all the social media typical things where connecting with like everything like, and having all of these small, like not small, but superficial conversations, if that makes sense, like just filling up her message thread that way, instead of being like that business owner and that entrepreneur, really sharing and showcasing what is it she does. Like she changes lives, she works out up until like pregnancy or like birth, right? Like we're doing these dramatic, obviously that's the season of life I keep like reverting back to that, but like we're doing these dramatic things that for other people looking in seems like wild. And for you and I, it's just like, we wake up an hour earlier and we take care of our shit. Like it's nothing crazy, guys. But if someone's watching you, they're just like, oh my gosh, 5 a.m. I'm like, girl, no, I can tell you some real problems. Like 5 a.m. is fine. So just kind of knowing that, like, I get off on a tangent, but just kind of knowing that like speaking affirmative in like what you have and like what you get to share, not getting lost in the small talk or like making sure you build those relationships. Like we're already talking to those people that you've built relationships with. And that could be people from college, that could be like friends from childhood, bridesmaids. Those were always my favorite. And so that's going to lead me back into like your invites a little bit. So, all right. So we already talked about the transformation in that block. We're talking about in our message threads right now, like our DMs is kind of where we're at. That's the behind the scenes where the magic is happening. Right. But then also with that, I want to share a little bit about like your friends and family. So these are people that aren't liking your stories because they're probably not on Instagram or Facebook. Like thinking about the people outside of the box. We're starting to get creative now. Okay. So I have like aunts, cousins, siblings, kind of where are they in your life? And what is the big change that happened in your life that you would love to share with them? I mean, even for example, I have a father who had a double hip surgery. Yeah, double hip replacement 1 year ago, and he just had his follow-up appointment. And apparently in 3 to 5 years, his bone density is supposed to be back to 100% with these pills that he's taking. And I kid you not, he's 63. This 63-year-old man has been doing Shakeology for 1.5 years now because I told him to, and he didn't eat breakfast, and he's my dad, and he just did it, right? So then 1 year after his appointment, he just goes to the doctor. The doctor's like, okay, your bone density is at 100%. And this guy, my dad, comes to me 2 weekends ago, and he's just like, he was like, you know what, Crystal, my bones are at 100% and it's supposed to take 3 to 5 years. He goes, I think it's this damn Shakeology you've been making me drink. And I'm just like, I'm here to tell you, like, we have things to do, Dad. Like, I'm not just making you do this stuff because it's ridiculous. I'm like, there's literally like good shit that we get to like share every single day. And like, these are stories that I would never have. Me and my dad would never talk about drinking a protein shake and all that if it wasn't for like this journey that I'm on. And we all have these little stories. Like, that's just like a little piece of mine that I wanted to share with you. But like, really sitting back and thinking about like these little like nuggets of amazingness that have been like planted in your life because of this, and then sharing it in that way. So at the end of the call, we're going to give you like a tangible step, and a big part of that step is going to be looking at the people around you that you haven't talked to yet about the business, but that you talk to on a regular. So like, I just came from a 5-day canoe trip. Like that was with 5 people, so these people I've been talking to on a regular, they're my friends. What is it that's separating them from being a part of my business, whether that's just an amazing client or whether they're actually interested in building this business. Okay, I'm getting long-winded and excited. But so that is kind of the last piece I want to share about that. Just a few like extra nuggets to share with you guys so I can share like what's worked for me and what hasn't. So I always heard from top coaches about incentivizing at the end of the month. And I will say, just like many of us have, like we've tried these different things that fit, and that has worked for me in the past. So I want to share with you a little bit how. It's also not something that I typically use, but I will say, for example, it was a hard month. I think it was probably about a year ago now, but anyway, going through a hard spell, and I knew that I had goals to hit in my business. And something that my challengers, even to this day, like talk to me about is gifts. They want prizes. They don't care if it's a pencil or if it's a bag of Shakeology. Like they just want like something to like compete for. We're competitive by nature, I guess. So when I had a hard month, basically what I would do is I went back to my follow-ups, and anybody who was like right on the edge for like months at a time, and I'd been talking to them and there was just things holding them back, I literally just shared with them like a quick little, hey, it's the end of the month. I'm able to incentivize and do a $25 Amazon card or whatever that looks like for you. I think it could be like a $10 Starbucks card, whatever it is that your people would respond to. And I was like, literally, you can get started for $160 with a $25 Amazon card. Is this something that's interested to you? Let's see, I'm trying to think if that's actually how I worded it. Kind of sharing it along the lines of like, I'm ready to get some people started and I have this opportunity to give back even more. So kind of like, that's how it worked for me. It's not something that I typically use. I just heard other top coaches in the business using it. I wanted to try it, and I did, and it did work for me. So know that you have that aspect in the back pocket as well. If it's something that you've been thinking about, feel free to like message in the threads, or even just message me and I can like share with you how it worked for me, and so forth. But it did end up helping me hit my goals that month. So I just wanted to briefly touch on that. And then I have a list just to make sure. Yeah. So kind of circling back, just the part of, have you guys reached out to your friends, your family, the people who could grow in a way that you have as well? So like whatever it was that you were struggling with, is there someone in your life that can relate to that with you? And then maybe they're not on social media. There's a ton of people in this world who aren't, and that doesn't matter. That's okay. So kind of letting that sink in too, and going back to that big list when you first started your business about all the people that you know. If anyone remembers writing that list, like I had like a chiropractor, my midwife, like all these people, like, and ultimately like those are all people that I've had conversations about this business with. Okay, that was a ton of information. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, throw them in the thread. But for now, I'm going to switch it over to Lindsay, and she's going to jump into reigniting your fire, and we'll keep it going.
Okay. Hey guys, so I might have spotty internet in the van, so I apologize. So if I stop at any point, just kind of like raise your hand so I can maybe reposition myself, but I think I'm good. So I'm Lindsay. I'm one of Carly's coaches. I'm super excited to actually talk about reigniting your fire, because I actually had to do this about 3 weeks ago. And we all go there through this whole business and coaching. Like you can get pretty drained out on it because there's so many mundane things to do, right? You have to make sure that you invite people. And like Crystal was saying, it's like checking off the boxes, but like we have to look past those boxes and really remember why we are checking off those boxes. And I think that's one of the most important things. So I did put a small slide together because I don't want you to stare at me the whole time. So I'm going to figure out how I can share my screen, which here we go. And I'm just going to keep it rolling. So can everyone see the screen? Thumbs up, shake head. Yeah, cool. So how to reignite your fire. And again, remember guys, you don't have to do this alone because there's how many people on this call right now? I didn't count, but there's definitely like at least 12 people. But you do not have to do it on your own. Hi, I can't talk right now. I'm on a call. Okay. So going into it, love you too. Sorry, my friend just popped over. Revisit your why. So what is the driving factor that you want to grow your own business? Like that is one of the biggest things you need to ask yourself, especially when you're feeling drained. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you showing up? Write it down on a piece of paper right now. Like for example, my reason is I want to be able to purchase land with my husband in 10 years and move and build our own dream spot, all while retiring from doing hair. I'm a hairstylist. If anyone didn't know, I don't look like it, but like, I don't want to have to rebuild that clientele. So that is my like driving force. When I get drained, this is what pushes me forward. So remembering and revisiting your why. And guys, your why can change. Don't get hung up on something. Also, don't try and sound like X, Y, and Z or like your upline coach or whatever it may be. Like really tap into like what the fuck you want. Okay. Sorry, Victoria. I know your son's on. Okay. Next and foremost is grab a success partner. Like I said at the very beginning of this, is like you don't have to do it alone. And guys, again, there's like 12 plus people on this call right now. When you have someone to do this with you, like for example, I'm hosting a mentorship right now alongside some of my coaches and other coaches that are on this call. That's helping me push myself to create the habits that I know are going to push me forward and not get bored, not get drained. Okay. That's a short slide. So like, if you do not have a success partner, grab one. If you don't have someone who is even doing these programs with you, but maybe you want to build a different habit that's going to help you in this business, like say you want to get up early in the morning, for example, and your friend Susie wants to, but she doesn't want to work out and she doesn't want to drink Shakeology or any of those things. She still wants to wake up early. Why don't you ask Susie to wake up early with you? Because that's going to still align with the goals you have for you. And you're not only in turn going to help Susie wake up early, and then maybe down the road, you got Susie. Okay. Don't know where Susie came from, so I apologize. So there's a couple of things I actually needed to ask myself. Again, like I said, 3 weeks ago, I was in a rut. I was not doing the things I needed to be doing to be able to get to where I wanted to be. So ask yourself, am I being diligent with my time? Okay, that was like the number one thing I was not doing. I kept getting consumed. I stopped being a creator. I stopped adding value for my own people, but also for my own self. I was literally draining myself so much by what's the newest and greatest reel I can do, or what should I post about because these coaches are posting these things. Like, guys, remember your vision, put your blinders on and speak your truth. Speak for who you really are. And if you're going through having to maybe potty train your child, or I'm trying to think like outside the box of like from what I do. But for me, like I'm trying to get better at biking. I'm sure other people are doing different things here and there, but remember that. And like, again, going back into being diligent with your time. Don't be the consumer, be the creator with the things that are speaking true to you. Okay. Going back to basics, should I go back to them? guys, I went straight back to that freaking business activity tracker. I'm used to be a pen and paper gal, but guys, you can actually access it via our website and knock it off. And there's even a timer on there. I went back to the damn basics, literally making sure 10 minutes, I'm going to invite people, 7 minutes, I'm going to follow up, 10 minutes, I'm going to connect with new people. Guys, if you set timers for yourself and you just make it happen, you're going to propel that momentum forward. And if you start it today, what is the date today, guys? It is, I don't even know, the 22nd. We have 8 days left, maybe 9. I don't know if it's the 31-day month. You have 8 days left to start creating that momentum that is not only going to help set you up to help maybe 1, 2, or 3 people, whoever many people you need to get to SC, you're going to be pushing that into the beginning of the month of September. And I guarantee you, you're going to be stoked you did it. And if you didn't do it, and if you don't start now, you're going to be bummed. I promise. So next thing is like, ask yourself, do my actions, I had to ask myself this, guys, do my actions actually align with my goals? And again, it went back to that whole, like, was I consuming or was I creating? And it doesn't have to be anything more than that, but like, ask yourself where you want to be. How many people do you want to help? Are your actions actually getting you to where you want to be, where you said you would be? And if not, revisit doing this. And if you can't actually, I don't know how to say it, but like, check yourself, you're never going to grow. Okay. So it's okay to revisit and like say like, okay, what's working for me? What's not? Okay, let's change it. Like, let's switch it up. Basically, at the end of the day, you're in charge. But if you want something to change, you have to do something about it. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing my screen because that's all I got. But the point of this being is we were talking about how to hit Success Club at the end of the month. And if you haven't hit it, how you can. And if you have, how to hit it again. I'm going to challenge every single one of us, myself included, because guys, we don't just say these things to help you do them. We say these things because we need to be reminded of them too. So I'm actually tonight going to be going in my phone and not onto Instagram, not onto Facebook, and going through my personal contacts list and seeing what 5 to 10 people that I can maybe help, that I can invite to, that maybe they see me on Instagram and Facebook, but maybe they don't watch my stories. They're obviously in your phone contact book for a reason. They're good friends of yours. So I'm challenging every single one of us to do that. And how I'm going to make sure all of us do it is we're going to go back into the team call comments and just say, done, did it. Boom. And guys, you're going to be rolling and helping push your business forward. And again, helping that 1, 2, or 3 lives. It's that simple. Don't make it crazy. Don't think you have to make the most viral reel. It helps, but it doesn't mean that you're going to help lives. Go into the people that you're the most connected with. And that's probably in your phone book. Phone book. It used to be paper. Okay, that is what I have. I know that wasn't like too insightful, but again, I had to do this myself 3 weeks ago and it has helped a ton. On that are in.
Okay, I feel like Lindsay might be locked up, maybe just for a second. I think you're back. It was just for like a hot second. So if anyone has any questions, I quickly scanned the messages. So I don't think there was any questions right away. Talked a little bit about how often to post a transformation pic. At least have it in your feed of your Instagram in the little block or whatever. I think Lindsay said like every 9 to 12 posts. I definitely, that makes sense with reels and stuff. I definitely do one at least once a week. And then at the end of the month, if I'm pushing for like bigger goals that I haven't hit, I'll do them more. And know that like your transformation doesn't have to be this was me 1 year ago, and this is my body now. Like, it can be face transformations, it can be mindset transformations. You can even just do like you and your spouse. Like, I love that one with like me and my spouse and how like we've grown. And this is just even in the last year. Like, we could look the exact same, but in this photo, I thought he was pissing me off or something. But over here, we had actually talked about things and we were coming at it by like communicating instead of just like bowling, like rolling over emotions or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, just letting you know that you can get creative with your transformation pics. It doesn't have to be like this dramatic weight loss or weight gain for a lot of us. Okay, so I'll go back in the chat. If you guys have questions, you can unmute yourself too. Talked a little bit about PD for mindset and reigniting your fire. Untamed lit me up. It's not business focused, it's just like personal focused. I don't know why. That just, whatever, that was me. And then business one, get over your damn self. I would recommend that like 9 times. Like, it's so good. So good. I need to read it again, actually. I feel like Vic might have put a bunch in here. Reclaim Your Life, book by Amy Shah. Beat Burnout, Boost Your Energy. Okay, I'm like reading right in the middle, but I'm so effing, okay, I'll do this again. Vic recommended I'm So Effing Tired, A Proven Plan to Beat Burnout, Boost Your Energy, and Reclaim Your Life, book by Amy Shah. There we go. Cool. Reading a book on burnout now and loving it.
Can you guys hear me at all? Yeah, okay.
You're good.
I was like reading up here, someone was asking what PD and mindset like reignited my fire. And to be completely honest, it wasn't anything crazy besides reading about food. Like, I'm diving more into nutrition. So getting a book that actually was going to help me progress in my journey really set me up for success, because not only was I just like reading things that were motivating for myself to cook more and be more diligent and understand like what's fueling my body, then I was able to start pouring that into just my whole Instagram and my sweat studio and all those things. So reading something that I knew was going to help me in the long term, if that makes sense. So it's called I think it's Be Smarter, but then I also went back and started reading The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. He's amazing. Yeah.
Sweet. All right. I feel like that's it. I've read everything in the chat. So last chance, anyone feel like there's more? And there's a podcast and link if you guys want to pull it up. I'm not going to click on it because I don't know where my computer will take me. But, all right, I'm going to stop the recording and